will say Tilly's borrowing a Hasselblad. Mm-hmm. She's doing film in darkroom right now, and it is like
on the cameras.
Yeah. It's the big medium format thing where you like look through the top. And,
oh yeah.
Okay, for
a brownie.
A what?
A brownie camera.
Brownie camera. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's a very popular film camera from back in the day.
Sure. Hasselblad's what they took to the moon though, which is cool. But she's got one because she's
supposedly
doing prints and stuff on medium format. Actually, let me just brag on Tilly for a second. She has really gotten into the film photography stuff, and she's like shooting, developing, printing, and everything completely analog. Like no computers, no printers, no scanners, no nothing, and it's awesome. She's really good. But shooting with that thing, I was helping her with a shot yesterday, and like it feels like a bolt action rifle or something. It's the most satisfying mechanical device I think I've ever used. The shutter like has this incredible sound, and then when you rack the film, it's like it's unbelievable. If anyone ever has the opportunity to shoot one, I highly recommend it. Camera, not a gun, by the way.
Right.
All right, so with that, welcome to Dipped in Tone, everyone. 2.0.
Hello.
We're back. We out here.
I have a huge mustache.
You have a massive mustache.
This has been how do I put this? A conscious effort to grow because maybe we can share this. We'll have to take photos tonight because technically today is Halloween.
Shh, don't tell them that.
It's fine. They know.
No, we're shooting this today as it comes
Pay no
out.
attention
this is
to
all
the man
real.
behind the curtain. But Graham, my son, is going to be Batman. I made him a bat suit out of foam. He looks really good. He put it on after I finally completed it, saw himself in the mirror, and he said, I look just like the real Batman.
Oh, man. How did that make you feel as a dad?
Pretty good. Yeah. And then
because you made the costume. Like, you made it.
I made a muscle suit and a cowl, like a full. It's not like some mask. It's like a full cowl. It goes over his whole head, and he has gauntlets with fins. And
hell yeah,
it's a thing. But Morgan, she's gonna be the Joker. She's gonna be a female Joker, and I'm gonna be Commissioner Gordon. So yeah. had to grow the mustache out.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah,
I think the stash plays. I think you keep the stash.
I'm falling in love with it, and everybody
it
around
works.
says it kind of works for you. I look just really like works, my father.
Man. It's and then in the pantheon of guitar YouTube, it's basically just you and Keith Williams rocking the. Although he's got more of a goatee.
His stash is gone. He's clean shaven now.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
So yeah, who else has a big stash?
No, not nobody. Not nobody that I know. I'm serious, man. With the glasses and the hair, it's very academic. It's a good look.
I look like an off-duty cop from the 80s.
You do look like a cop. That's for sure. But like an old 1970s sort of cop.
I've got a real Hopper from Stranger Things vibe going on.
Yeah, a hop thing going on. Yeah. I'm for it.
So how's your week been going?
Oh God. Well, actually it was really good. Took a few days off, went camping, took the camper out. It is peak fall foliage. Yeah, whatever.
I don't know.
North Georgia, the mountains. I mean, it is unbelievable. It's like, you can practically smell the pumpkin spice latte in the air up there. So we went up and camped out for a few days back in the woods. There's this spot I've been going to since I was 18 years old. It's like way, way back there. You got to drive on this dirt road like 9.5 miles through the mountains. It's awesome. So went back there with good friends. And, that's about it. Shooting videos, starting a new video course, all that kind of stuff.
Exciting.
Yep.
We are almost done with packing up the shop. It looks the same behind me, but in the floor is just a mass of like boxes and crap. And then in the actual shop, we've cleared off all the shelves. There's still a few things floating around just because, I don't know, we're still taking orders for treble bleeds and stuff on the web store and merch. But man, what an exciting time. We're renting a truck on Wednesday. What's that? The 3rd. And it's going to be a very long day because I bought a bunch of big shelves. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, It's going to be great. But in other news, I had mentioned this in passing. And I am excited to share that these aren't out yet, but we're working on Strat pickups.
Ooh.
So this is a 60s reissue Strat, just a Mexican that I bought at Eastside Music Supply. They had one. This one, they had a bunch of custom shop and like a small builders, and they had this, and this one just beat all of them.
When they're good, they're good, man. Doesn't matter what it is.
That's right. I watched your Strat video.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this one, these pickups are interesting. So what we're trying to do is, I mean, I guess I should just say, it's going to be like a reverse stagger thing, the Hendrix thing. Slightly overwound, but then reverse stagger on the bridge, fairly overwound, but with a bass plate. So it's like Hendrix on a Telecaster, kind of. Cool. I don't know, but it's different. It has a very old sound. It's a unique vibe, but we're still testing them, prototyping them, so they may change. But we've put them in here, and I'll start playing it. So.
I like the Strat bridge with the bass plate thing. It kind of cures my main issue with the Strat bridge, which is the real harsh tinny kind of thing that can happen on a Strat bridge. Putting that bass plate under there, it does push it more into a telly territory, and I'm more of a tellyman than a Stratman if I had to pick one. So yeah, we got to get you to look at whatever is in my Les Paul and figure out how to get those made.
They're 57 classics.
Yeah, but they're different.
The late 90s.
Yeah.
Well, so 57 classics, for those playing at home, were like that was Gibson's first attempt of doing a more true PAF sort of replica. But it's not, I mean, like for the purists out there, it's by no means a replica. And I guess you could go back to say Tim Shaw. He was the one who kind of spearheaded all that in the 80s. But as far as like something more normal, the 57 classics were that. And I've always heard people say that the earliest ones are the best ones, and then they kind of shifted. I don't know what changed, but yeah, I'm glad you like them. I can't wait to hear them. I'm still really curious. I feel like we're treading ground we just did in the Joe Bonamassa episode, because it's so close to filming. So we might be mentioning a lot of the same things, but I want to check it out. I can't wait to try it.
Speaking of the Bonamassa interview and merch, are we going to do a Rhett Skull t-shirt? I feel like we should.
Yeah, right. It's going to look like this. Let's see.
No.
Come on.
Yeah, there it is.
Dude. Yeah,
just blow that up. Just make that the shirt.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
We're going to dip this rig.
All right, before we get into the rig dip, though, let's thank the sponsor of today's episode, and that is StewMac. If you follow the link in the description box down below, you can get 10% off one regularly priced item at stewmac.com.
Yeah, so that means you should go big. You should get a pickup winder. You should get an entire toolkit or something.
Do they sell lathes? Could you buy it like a lathe? So
StewMac sells, if you can work on a guitar, they have a tool for it. In the Revolta shop, they have their buffing wheel, which is it's amazing. It's belt driven, so it's not gonna. You're less likely to take an arm off, you know,
right.
Or catch something and shoot it across the room.
Yeah.
They're like all of StewMac's tools are basically the gold standard for working on guitar, and if you can think of it, they basically make a tool for it. And so, yeah, head to StewMac.com.
What do we think the most expensive thing on StewMac.com is? And let's see.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see here.
That's a great question.
I'm trying to save you money, okay? So if you were to buy the most expensive thing, get 10% off, you're going to get the most savings. And that's how math works. So it wouldn't be strings and accessories. Ooh, kits and projects. Let's look at electronic amplifiers.
It may be an amp kit. I wonder if there's a way to like view everything.
I don't know.
Ah, man.
Ooh, a 66 Black Panel Deluxe kit, $1,244. So you could get 10% off that.
There you go.
$124. A 62 Plexi. I don't know, man. Actually, that Plexi thing might be fun. I built a kit amp once, a Tweed amp, and I really enjoyed it. I would like to do another one.
It's so much fun. But even like beyond that, if you're not trying to be ridiculous, you can get if your guitar needs new tuners, any sort of hardware, they have it, and all of StewMac stuff is like top quality, especially all the hardware, like, you know, Kluson, Waverly, all the best stuff. So yeah, check out our link in the description below.
You could get a Go Bar system, a Go Bar deck, and get. Well, no, the amp kits are more expensive than that. All right, well, someone do the research. Find the most expensive thing on StewMac.com. Let us know what it is in the comments section. Let's dip the rig.
Okay, let me drop it in the chat. The worst thing about having a big mustache is when you smile, you just see like your middle teeth, and you look really kind of stupid.
I just realized the thing has something in my teeth. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay, there it is. Bam, right in the Discord.
Ooh, don't forget, if you want to join our Discord server while we are, and you can join in while we're taping, join our Patreon. Link down below.
That's right. There's new tiers.
Yep.
There's more. We are working hard to deliver on all fronts, and we're really happy with what we've come up with on Patreon. But anyway, with the rig here, this is from Mr. Phil, and I'm trying. He sent this very detailed email, so I'm trying to
This is okay.
Sift through
First of all, can we shout out the Lego Millennium Falcon and the Lego X-wing?
Yes. Those. It's sad that you opened them, because those are probably worth a lot of money now, Phil, if you kept them in the original packaging. But whatever, it's okay. I understand the need to build with Lego. So what we've got here is a Fano TC6 all de facto in burgundy mist. It's got a Lawler Firebird and a Lola 52T. We've got a Shabbat Lynx in metallic purple, a Fano PX6 all de facto. He says it's Dennis era, so I guess that's like pre 2014 or so.
Phil, if you ever want to sell that, call me.
Yeah, the PX6 is one of the.
No, that's the right color. Fans. That's the right one.
Yeah. The amps we have a Bad Cat Tone Cat 35 watt, a Mesa Lone Star Special 30, and he runs them through an aux. And then the pedal board here, okay, TC Polytune, Fjord Fuzz, can't pronounce, KVASIR, Jackson Prism, Exotic SP Compressor, a 1981 DRV, Revival Drive Compact, an old Mjolnir, Bit Commander, Ernie Ball, VP Junior, Diamond Tremolo, MXR Analog Chorus, Carbon Copy, Timeline, and a Maris Mercury 7 with expression pedal connected. That's it. Boom.
Dude. Okay. Let's start with the guitars. Yeah. I am absolutely in love with this guitar setup. It's funky. It's cool. They're all really nice guitars. The two Fanos, I mean, goes without saying. Those are Firebird pickups in that the Alt de Facto, right? You said? Yeah,
it looks like both of them have Firebird pickups. Let me zoom in on this.
The Firebird pickup is, I think, one of the most underrated pickups of all time. It's so good. I have the custom shop Firebird behind me over there.
Well, they can be really good, or they can be absolute dog shit.
Right. Well, I would imagine these are probably
that's anything.
Lollers in here, right? Though I would imagine. Yeah. And so they're pretty good. But the thing about the Firebird, so first of all, Firebirds and mini humbuckers are different things, even though they look very similar. They're different things altogether. And the Firebird pickup, I think, is one of the most slept on pickups of all time. It's so cool. To me, it's like the closest thing to a Strat that Gibson has ever done. Like a Firebird on the neck position can kind of get you into that Stratty territory, but it's different. It's not, you're not going to fool anybody making it sound like a Strat. Although technically a gold top would be more Stratty in the neck position, but anyway, I digress. Point is, Firebird pickups are killer.
Yeah, and one of the things that makes a Firebird pickup different, I just went to, I searched Firebird pickup construction, and the first thing that came up was a StewMac link to a pickup kit.
Nice.
So they got it on lock over there. But instead of a normal humbucker, which has one bar magnet underneath the coils, Firebirds have two bar magnets that act as like a blade pickup. So it's kind of like a weird hybrid between a Fender's pickup construction and a Gibson pickup construction.
Yeah, so cool. The Shabbat Lynx. So I recently purchased a Shabbat Lynx, traditional Strat style pickup layout. This is an HSS, so humbucker in the bridge. But the Shabbat stuff is unbelievable. The thing about mine that I love is the weight. It's incredibly light. It's an ash body. It's like a Mary Kay. I've shown it here on the pod before. Mm-hmm. But I think that guitar has the best fretwork of any guitar I've ever bought new, including all the boutique stuff, the Gibson stuff, the Novo stuff. The fretwork on the Shabbat is perfect.
Yeah, I'm curious to play it. Looking behind that guitar, I'm also curious what those kind of outlets are. I don't recognize that.
Oh, is that
that outlet configuration?
Is it Germany? I think it's Germany.
Maybe. I do appreciate the color palette of these guitars. They all very much complement one each other. But the PX6, man, great guitars. We had one at Carter Drink when I worked there that was a Sunburst set neck. Oh, yeah. That was one. That's one guitar that I think about I should have bought.
Yeah, got away.
You don't normally see a set neck Fano.
Yeah,
and that was one.
And if that's DF era, Dennis era.
Yeah,
I have been on the hunt for one of those for years. I mean, passively on the hunt. I'm not like actively looking for one, but when something like this pops up, whew. All right, pedal board.
Yeah,
this is impressive. This is a pretty good board setup here. I have a few thoughts.
Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. I want to shout out the Bit Commander though. So I bought a Bit Commander in like 2013 or 14, and it's so rad. Mine's broken. I actually need to send it into EQD to get it fixed, but it's like a fuzz, but also a synth and also like an octave up, sub octave, octave down thing. It's so cool, and I don't see enough people playing the Bit Commander. I think it kind of scares people off when they play it in like a guitar store or something. They don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, and I feel like that it came out a while ago.
Yeah.
And they've gone, and done a lot of things since. So I think sometimes people, they forget that these companies, just because they're making cool stuff now, doesn't mean they didn't make cool stuff before. So go back and look at that.
Yeah, embrace the chaos, man. Catalog. Sometimes you just need a pedal that's going to make your amp sound like it's about to fucking explode. Okay.
Ooh. Yeah. Speaking of which, there's something in this bag.
Ooh.
That is going to make your amp. This very well may blow up some amps. So I'm excited.
That's sick. Awesome.
Serious. Okay. What do you think about the rest of this board here?
The rest of the board's cool. I like the SP Boost. I like the Revival Drive Compact. That's a great, really, really versatile pedal. You can do a lot with it. Let's see. OG Mjolnir or old Mjolnir. That's cool. Yeah. Now, I will say the volume pedal, the VP Junior, I legitimately think I've bought and broken 8 or 9 of those.
Yeah.
And not just like I've replaced the string, obviously. I've done that on all of them, but they just break. Like,
yeah,
they're disposable. If you're going to buy an EP Junior and put it on your board, they're disposable. It's going to break and give up the ghost at some point. Yeah, I mean, what do you think?
I like it. There's a lot on here. For me, it's a little much because you have a lot of gain.
Mm-hmm.
You essentially have, if you count the Prism, you could kind of treat that as it's a preamp sort of EQ thingy. There's just a lot of gain structure, which for me, it's like, that's too much, especially when you have two great amps that can do gain in and of themselves. But you could get a lot of sounds out of this. So
yeah,
I appreciate it. I appreciate the layout of it. I like that the expression pedal's right in the middle, and like everything seems to be laid out to where you can hit it with your foot.
Yeah, right. Okay, amps.
Yeah.
Bad Cat, Mesa, Lone Star. Bad Cat's cool. I have a Bad Cat. Really like it. It's a great amp. Lone Star, I don't like them.
You don't like them?
I don't like them. I don't like the Lone Star thing at all. A friend of mine, engineer friend of mine, has had one for years and years that I've played a handful of times. I've had them as backline amps. I don't. My issue with Mesa amps is they're too complicated. There's too much going on. They're too heavy. First of all, have you ever tried to move a Lone Star combo?
Oh yeah.
You need a damn trailer to carry the thing around. Look at the size of the casters on that road case he's got.
I know.
You need that to move that amp around. Trying to repair a Mesa like this Lone Star whenever something goes down, good luck. Like, some techs won't even touch Mesa Boogie stuff. It's not to say they're bad amps. They make really cool stuff. I just, if it's not a Mark IV or Mark V or Mark I or something like that, it's not my favorite. Not my favorite thing.
Yeah, I like the Lone Star. I do feel like most Mesas are one of those amps that you have to like sit with And I can't imagine having it as a backline thing and just being like, okay, get a sound. All right, you ready? Go. Like that would be a nightmare. Unless it was something like an early Mark series, not the later ones. Cause those talk about switches and stuff. It's like, Apollo shuttle or the capsule, like all this stuff in the back. But yeah, I do like the way they sound. And the Bad Cat, he said, is kind of a mix of a DC-30 and a Marshall that you can blend the two channels, which is cool. I mean, for me, I'd probably ditch the Mesa and just play the Bad Cat.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into thoughts. Guitars, perfect. Wouldn't change a thing. Love it. Love the color combination. Love the pickup combination. You're kind of covering all the bases here too, which is cool. Pedal board. I think we need to work on the pedal board a little bit. I agree with you. I think we can drop a couple of these gain stages. So here's what I would do. I'd keep the Revival Drive. I'd keep the Mjolnir. I'd keep the Fuzz. And I mean, the Bit Commander is kind of its own thing, so I'd keep that. But the other stuff, the SP, the Jackson Audio Prism, the 1981, and the Diamond, I think could go. And then I would clean this layout up. This board is a tap dancing nightmare. For instance, like the carbon copy and the other MXR pedal above the timeline, like you for sure are going to be knocking switches on that timeline with your feet, and those will break. Ask me how I know. And then you got to send your timeline in to get.
They're not pots; they're rotary encoders, and
that are mounted directly to the board, basically. And so I was on a church gig one time, and they had the snake coiled up that was run to my pedal board, and someone just coiled the snake up, dumped it on my board, and moved it, and the snake got caught, and it just ripped like 2 or 3 of the knobs off the timeline.
Were you like, God damn it?
It's like, yeah, I mean, otherwise, I just work on the layout. I like what's there. I think you could just clean it up, make it a little more user friendly, get rid of some of the gain stages. You really don't need that many gain stages.
Yeah. So what do you rate this thing?
Well, and then amps.
Oh yeah.
I'd ditch the Lone Star. Honestly, I'd just sell it and keep the Bad Cat. And if you wanted to swap the Lone Star for something else, maybe something more American voiced, like a deluxe or a tweed, something like that would be cool. Just complement that Bad Cat nicely.
Get a Fillmore. Get a Mesa Fillmore.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
It's good.
It's a good amp. If you have to have the Mesa thing, yeah, get a Fillmore.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give this 8.3 shoyles. Love the guitars. And the guitar is offsetting the amp choice and the pedal board layout for me. So, there you go.
I want to give it, is I do like the guitars, although I don't like HSS guitars.
But
nor do I understand.
In that combination, though, it's like the only humbucker they've got. So,
yeah, well, technically the Firebirds are humbuckers.
Yeah, but
they are.
I know technically, but not.
But I don't like HSS guitars. And I don't understand why it's HSS. It should be SSH.
No.
But anyway, I'm going to give it 7.8. I think I think take half of it away, except for the guitars. Half the pedals, just simplify it all, and then you're good.
Yep.
You're good.
Half the amps away, and you're good.
Yeah. Just pull half the tubes out and just throw them away.
I think your life will be better if you get rid of that Lone Star. You'll be less stressed.
Your back will be better.
Your back will be better. Yeah, I mean, for real. You have less option paralysis. I mean, that's the thing with those Mesas, man. It's like there's so many options.
It's a lot, and Mesas are one of those things that like the EQ is funny. For someone who's not familiar, most Mesas the EQ is set where noon is like neutral. Mm-hmm. And then they add or cut. So they're very interactive, and they are, you can get them to do so much. And I've had like experiences with Mesas, and I thought this is the best sound I've ever heard. And then you play a similar amp a week later and you can't stand it.
Yeah. So, I just don't think they're very user friendly, for most players out there. I know a lot of people have them and love them, and that's great. I just can't handle it. So yeah, there you go. If you want to submit your rig to be dipped here on the show, join Patreon. Submit it. There's now a special place in the Discord for all you Patreon members. Get on the Discord if you haven't already, because this is where we are hanging out and doing all our interactions with the show. This is where you will submit your rigs to be dipped. It's where we post the links of us going live so you can jump in, all that stuff. So
that's right. Okay. So today we're going to revisit a topic that we have touched on in the past because there is, it's not super new, but Sweetwater has dropped their used marketplace and they're calling it the Gear Exchange.
Yes.
So can you tell the fine people at home what the deal is with this thing?
Yeah, so Sweetwater's getting into the used gear marketplace. For a long time, it's been dominated by, the likes of Reverb and, of course, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. But in terms of, like, standalone secondhand gear retailers, Reverb has basically run the game since, 2014, something like that, 2015 when they started?
Oh, I don't know.
It's been a while. They've been around for a good minute. So it's interesting to see another player get in the game and another player as big as Sweetwater. And it has kind of changed the landscape a little bit in terms of what's the best way to buy and sell used gear. For a long time, in my opinion, it just was Reverb because I hate Craigslist. I don't get on Facebook anymore. So for me personally, it was just Reverb. And then, Reverb increased their sellers fees last year before last. And
they were bought by Etsy,
increased their fees. And honestly, like, it doesn't sound like a huge increase, but I've sold a few things recently on Reverb, a few guitars and stuff like that, and those fees, they really cut into you, man.
Yeah. It is like the fee thing. Reverb started by some of the guys at CME.
Yep.
It was 2013, so you're close. I think the initial idea was to combat the fees on eBay.
Yep.
And when Reverb started, it was the fees weren't bad, and I understand. When the scope of your business changes, fees have to change. Everything goes up. It gets bigger. But it's got to a point now where I don't even bother with it most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just be patient and put stuff on Facebook. I'll put stuff on Craigslist, or I'll just take it to a store and say because the consignment fee might be similar to Reverb, and then I just don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. Because what is your time worth in terms of like packaging it up, going to UPS or FedEx or wherever and shipping the thing off? So yeah, the consignment thing is interesting. Mm-hmm. Kind of a set it and forget it sort of thing. But now, interestingly, so let's touch on Sweetwater. So I actually have not looked at the Gear Exchange yet. Obviously, I haven't sold or bought anything on there yet. But when you go to their webpage, Sweetwater Gear Exchange, the first thing you see is this big banner. You spoke, we listened, say goodbye to seller's fees. 0 seller fees, 0 transaction fees when you choose a Sweetwater gift card as payout. Now, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And didn't Reverb used to offer like Reverb bucks?
Yeah, they did for a while, and I never used it. Did you ever use it?
I didn't, but I remember having customers like want to use them.
Like to buy new Mythos pedals?
Yeah, I don't know. The first thing I saw when I Googled this is a Gear Page thing, which says a good way for my wife to not see what's going on in the bank account.
Okay, why?
Yeah, keep it classy, gentlemen.
God, that shit annoys the hell out of me. It's so like, gotta keep it from the wife. Can't have the old battle axe. I gotta buy guitars in the same color so the wife doesn't know I'm buying new guitars. Like,
just do what I do and don't tell her, and then when she sees it, you tell the truth.
Oh, God.
Usually that happens because I'm just caught up in the moment and I get excited, and then I don't know. I bought a new amp like Friday, so
yeah.
Because
I mean I generally Tilly usually knows about stuff, and to be honest, she doesn't care, because you and I are in unique situations where this is our job to have this stuff, so it makes sense. I would imagine it would be different if I was like, I don't know, buying car parts or something for a hobby. It's a different thing, but
ooh, what kind of car parts? Well, anyway, okay. So back to the Sweetwater thing.
LS motor to go in my 87 square body.
Man, you just find a shade tree mechanic guy. He'll have one in the back. So I have perused the Sweetwater Gear Exchange.
Right.
And I was looking for before I bought this Strat, I was looking at Strats, and now the number of listings on here is not as high as Reverb, obviously.
I think it hasn't really caught on yet. People still don't really know about it.
Yeah, but one thing that's cool is that some of the listings, what in the world is search Fender Stratocaster, and it took me to the home page.
Uh-oh.
Jesus, hold on. There we go. If someone is a Sweetwater customer, it's mentioned on the listing, so it's kind of like a way of verifying that they're not just some idiot that's going to take your money and not ship the guitar or whatever. Like they if they're a Sweetwater customer, guess what? Sweetwater's got all their information.
Sweetwater customer since 2001. I'm looking at some recording gear right now, like a Shadow Hills Mono Gamma microphone preamp. I used to have a pair of these. Really good. God, they've gone up in price. God. But yeah, so it's like sold by so-and-so, tells you where they are. Sweetwater customer since 2019. That's pretty interesting. I wonder what the actual like back-end purchasing process is like on this.
We'll buy something, Rhett. Go ahead. Do it while we're doing the thing.
Okay, hold on. What should I buy? Should I buy a pedal? What should I buy?
No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that.
Let's do it. Let's go through the process here. I mean, I'm not going to go spend like $500 on something, but let's try and find something interesting. Okay, cool. All right, let's I'll one up you. Whatever you spend, or whatever I spend, you should spend more.
All right, I want to buy an R9.
See who the coward is. I just bought an R9. That doesn't count.
No, you get an R8.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'd be an RO, right? Because I'd have to go 1 year later.
Well, if you go up, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay, Gibson RO. I'm just gonna see what we got here. Yeah, let's see what the checkout process like. There's only one RO on here. But I mean, the cool thing about this is it's just giving someone another outlet, and the fact that you can sell something and get the money. You can make an offer. Okay, cool. The fact that you can get money that you can spend on new gear and not have to lose 5, 8, 10%.
Yes.
And then I don't know, it's just super convenient.
Let me just search bus compressor. I'm on the market for a good 2-bus compressor.
I'm really okay, I have to log in with my Sweetwater account. I'm really nervous that I'm gonna get into this and I'm gonna buy a guitar and not mean to.
Okay.
So I don't know. This to me seems like a really cool alternative. I like the way it's laid out. It's very much like any normal. It looks like Sweetwater, basically.
Just with worse pictures.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, really bad pictures, y'all. Come on.
You know, it's taking pictures is hard.
Yeah, but okay. So this. Oh wait, no. Okay, so the thumbnail was just bad. The thumbnail on this one was like straight up potato quality. Yeah. Sweetwater customer since 1999. Wow.
Dang.
Good job. Sonic Landscapes Recording. Good job, guys. Been in the game for a minute. Since I was 9 years old. Been buying gear at Sweetwater. So okay, yeah. So far I like it. I mean, it feels like Sweetwater. I will say, I think Reverb offers, a little bit more in terms of features. Like if you're the type of person, like let's say you own a pedal company that rhymes with JHS, okay? And you're the type of person that just is constantly on Reverb because there's stuff that you have to have because you're a completionist, whatever.
Completionist, yeah.
Yeah. So I think Reverb has two things in its corner over the Gear Exchange. One, the user base. Like Reverb has been the standard one of the standard gear marketplaces for the better part of a decade now, but they also have interesting like user features that I noticed got quite a bit better once Etsy took them over. So there's like a feed, and they kind of know what you're looking for. You can follow certain items. You can set alerts up for certain items. So if you were the type of person that had, I don't know, a few thousand pedals in your collection and you were adding some more, I think Reverb would probably be a better option for you as of right now.
Well, I mean, just the sheer number of users is pretty incredible. Like I'm trying to like wrap my head. We're talking about selling, and all I can think about is buying stuff now.
Should I buy a Duke of Tone? Oh wait, I'm on Reverb. I got to buy it on Sweetwater, right?
Yeah. Well, you could buy a new one.
Oh, that's true. Wait, can you buy? Let's see if there's a used one. Hold on.
I have one. My good friend Brian at Mass Street Music sent me one for my birthday.
Oh.
Very nice.
Wait, did I send you anything? I didn't send you anything for your birthday.
You didn't send me shit. You didn't even text me. You didn't say nothing. I mean, you might have. I don't know.
I honestly, I probably didn't because I'm terrible. I'm so bad at stuff like that.
But okay, so let's take a step back. Why don't you don't like Facebook? You don't like Craigslist? Is it
No.
because of the meeting the person sort of thing?
And
Are
I've
you
just
afraid
had-
that they're going to recognize you and be like, "Oh my God, you're Rhett Shaw. Will you just give this to me?" Is that what you're worried is going to happen?
I'm gonna gloss over that and know that you're taking the piss and just ignore that. Nothing would make me. No, that's not the worry. The thing
I know that. I'm just kidding.
The thing with Craigslist is like I've bought and sold stuff on Craigslist for years, not just music gear, but just random shit. Like I sold all my whitewater kayaking gear a few years ago, and it's like it's just weird, and I don't like it. Okay, I'll just be honest. I don't like it. I'm not the type of person. I don't like wheeling and dealing. I don't want to go and barter. Like the idea of bartering, like I'm trying to buy a truck right now, and I'm getting close to the process where I actually got to go into the dealership and sit and argue with some guy about how much money, how overpriced this truck is, and how much, it just sucks. I hate it. So anything that prevents me from having to do anything like that, I'll pay the seller's fee to not have to talk to anybody or see anybody or like physically hand something to somebody and take cash for it. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the convenience of not having to go meet somebody is worth it because I love buying and trading on those platforms, but I don't have the time to meet people. I never have the time, and then I'm like, just come to me, and no one ever wants to do that. I'm like, I have money in my hand, and no one wants to. They always want you to come to them.
I mean, so a couple years ago, I sold a bike on Facebook Marketplace, right? And it was my first road bike. If you know anything about road bikes, like the fit of the road bike is super important. Like you get everything dialed in, like down to the millimeter. And like you often pay to have a fit done. Like it's a big deal. Bike fit is a big deal. And it got to the point where I was trying to buy this new bike and I needed to sell my old bike. And I met this guy in a Kroger parking lot. Okay. And he showed up to ride a road bike in flip flops. And he started like, the seat was too high for him because I'm taller than he was. So I was like, okay, well on that bike, it's a matter of like an Allen key and you've got to, so I reset the whole seat for him, changed everything. He rode it around 2 laps. He was like, I don't know, man, I don't like it. It's too much. And then left. And now I've lost an hour and a half of my time and I have to go back and reset my bike up and the whole thing. It just sucked. It was awful. That was my last time selling something on Craigslist. And I'm pretty sure I swore it off after that. So
I get it. I just think like they're like, okay, so Jason, he just texted me a fantastic used pedal that I would love to buy, a 1970s Tycho Brahe Octavia, but it's $2,900.
So why are you scared?
Because I'm moving and I have to buy workbenches.
If you scared, say you scared.
Have you seen the price of workbenches? But the thing about like buying on all those platforms, especially Facebook, is you can get such good deals on stuff. So if you're willing to put up with idiots, no offense.
No offense to the idiots.
No offense to all you morons out there. None of you
morons
fine
watching,
people,
no
you
offense.
guys are great. Then like there's some really good deals to be had, but yeah, I don't know. For me, it's more about like I've never been like pressed to sell stuff, so posting things on any online store is usually a last result or last resort.
Right.
Last result. I mean, I guess it would be a last result.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find something fun to buy. But what about the consigning thing? Is that something that you've ever?
I've done it a couple
with?
times. Yeah, but it's been a while, and the last times I've done it, I think I had like this little 1x12 cabinet that I wasn't using, and I took it into Atlanta Discount Music, and they're always cool. Like the cool thing about shops like Atlanta Discount is a large part of their inventory is consignment. So every time you go in, there's completely different stuff in there, which is fun. Yeah. But it was like by the time it was a cheap like Jet City cabinet, and by the time they sold it and took the fees and everything, I think I made like $60 on it, $75 on it.
Yeah. Oh, those Jet City cabinets are
like,
cheap though.
Yeah, but this one had like really cool. This was a special edition one that had like the Western Tolex, and this was actually a really cool cab. Mm-hmm. And I think I'd swapped the speaker in it. So,
Oh man. Well, or you turn out like me whenever you buy or trade on Craigslist and you get got, and then you
Yeah, you
wind
did
up
get
with
got. See, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. You got hard on Craigslist.
I did. Yep.
And there's no recourse. That's the other thing. You don't have any recourse.
No, there's no review page or anything. I can't go. I mean, unless I remembered this guy's name. I still have his email. I guess I could find one of those Reddit threads where people just like send him all sorts of spam email.
Oh, God. Or just start signing him up for gym free trials of stuff or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That's what you should do.
I should do that. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. So, what are we trying to say here? Are we trying to say that we should all give Gear Exchange a try?
I'm interested to see what happens with Gear Exchange, strictly because Sweetwater is such a big player in the industry, and I like the fact. Look, not most of the time, but at least for me, most of the time I have sold gear, it's been to get other gear, to buy other stuff, and right. I kind of live by a strict ethos of, if I'm going to sell something, it's, as best as I can, it's going to be in order to step forward, like not make a lateral move, especially with things like guitars and amps, like big ticket items. If I'm going to sell something like a guitar, I'm not going to, sell a Mexican Fender to get another like equivalent value guitar. That's just not how I'd like to do it. If I'm going to sell something, I want it to be in service of getting me further along or a higher quality piece of gear. So like right now I'm buying recording gear. I'm accumulating outboard stuff. And so if I sold my Les Paul, for example, the 2019, it would be so that I could buy a bus compressor or, a tube EQ or something like that I'm going to use, that selling the guitar is not going to pay for. It's just going to put a dent in the overall price of the item. So with that in mind, I like that Sweetwater's offering no seller fees if you turn around and spend the money at Sweetwater, with the caveat being on new gear.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, I like that, because I feel like for a lot of people, the majority of people who are just, this is their hobby, because let's face it, the majority of the guitar players in the world are not professionals. They're just people that love the instrument, playing music and having fun. And so I'd say for most people, the experience of buying and trading and selling is to just garner experience, to try something new. And so making a lateral move is not, is by no means a bad thing for a lot of people. It's just a way of educating yourself. And the only way to do it is to let go of things.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But the fact that you can do this with Sweetwater, and like, say you sell your, an old Mexican Strat and a few pedals, and then you can put that right towards a Tele or a Jazzmaster or, an SG or something. I think that's really cool. And the fact that no one else is doing this. I think Reverb bucks used to take away, like, I was kind of like going back to that. I think you got to omit some of the fees, if I'm not mistaken. In the chat, people can or in the comments, please correct me. But I think that's really interesting. The idea of being have this money. I found a pedal I want to buy on Sweetwater here.
Oh, okay. I got to keep looking. Well, the thing is, like, I think it makes more sense with Sweetwater versus Reverb, because Sweetwater is, like, at least in North America, the biggest online gear retailer, and they have everything. Whereas Reverb is not necessarily, I don't know. I just never connected with the whole Reverb bucks thing.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people did.
now.
And it's,
so.
Yeah, they ain't doing that no more. They've also got live sound and lighting stuff on. Well, I guess Reverb does all that stuff too. I just don't ever look at that.
Well, and Reverb now is kind of bloated, because you have every dealer posts everything on Reverb, because if you have a Shopify, if you have a Squarespace or whatever, all those things talk to each other, and now everything can go everywhere. And holy hell, is it overwhelming.
It is true. Like, if I go to my Reverb homepage here, I'm logged into my account, so I got all my, like, metadata and stuff on me. So big banner at the top, watch and win, not interested. Don't wait to save, shop deals on Vox, Shure, and more. Like, no, like, I have to scroll halfway down the page to get to listings recommended for me. And I will say most things here are like personal sellers. It's not retailers. But once you start to look for something, like, all right, let's look at on Reverb. Let's go Duke of Tone.
Uh-oh. By the way, I'm buying a Voodoo Lab analog chorus.
Ooh, those are good.
$100. Great deal.
Yeah, those are really good. All right, so if I go Duke of Tone, let's see, dealer listing, personal listing, dealer, personal, dealer, 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 dealer. So, yeah.
That might be a little too new because of...
That's true. All right, so what should I look up then? What's something...
Look up a Voodoo Lab analog chorus.
Well, no dealer's going to have that.
No, I know. So hold on. I just bought that pedal.
Okay.
It was very easy, the most normal of checkouts. So you can make offers. I didn't. I just got it because it was a good price. And PayPal, credit card, all the things. Normal. So Gear Exchange, cool. Thumbs up. I wonder if I'm going to get a call from my Sweetwater rep about this.
That's a good question. That is a legitimately good question. In other news, I found something on Reverb that I want.
Ooh.
Let's post it up in the chat here. Yeah, there you go.
Ooh. Oh, it's in our other chat.
A Hawk HR40 Spring Reverb. Hawk HR40 Spring Reverb sound gas serviced, which is actually a big deal. This is an old analog Spring Reverb unit that I learned about this morning. I was watching a mix with the Masters episode of the gentleman that mixed one of Michael Kiwanuka's singles last year, and it sounded unbelievable. And he was doing this thing with the lead vocal over the chorus where he was stacking different Spring Reverbs and then compressing them. And this is one of the reverbs he was using, and it sounded unreal. $750. You know,
is that a good deal?
I don't know. I've never seen this before today. So, but it is sound gas serviced, and it does have an $85 price drop.
It does. So. This is one of those things, though, because it's in the UK, you really need to watch the price of the pound because you could save a lot of money.
Ooh, that's a good point.
So put it in that watch.
I hearted it. Yeah, I'm watching it. Yeah. It was listed 8 months ago. Dude, maybe I should make an offer.
Be like, hey, you take $400 dues for that thing?
I'll give you $150 hard cash right now.
See, if you knew The Simpsons, you would understand the dollar dude joke, but
yeah,
I
don't know anything about Simpsons. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll forgive you.
Dude, stereo in and out. Come on.
This is just Rhett and Zach shop for half an hour.
Well, let's give some people some hard buying advice that they can actually use, some actionable advice when they're shopping online, whether it's Reverb, Craigslist, Sweetwater, whatever. What would you tell someone who's maybe new to this and so they don't get got like you did?
Inspect everything. Ask to play it, and if it has especially if it's an amp, turn on your flashlight. You got one on your phone. I know you do. Look inside that thing, feel around, check the tubes. If it's a guitar, be sure to check the neck. Make sure there's nothing funky. But just take your time and ultimately don't feel pressured to buy something because someone's standing there and looking at you. It is absolutely okay to piss that person off and say, I don't want it, or this is not what I expected. And I think that's the thing where most of us get in trouble is you're excited, it's new, and you want to buy it, but then you don't look at it, and then you get what happened to me, and you get fucked. So don't do that.
Just don't change the person's seat height on their bike when you're looking at their stuff, okay? As long as that's okay. Yeah, and I would say on guitars, especially too, like depending on the guitar, depending on its age, especially as you start to get into more vintage stuff or high dollar stuff, it might be a good idea. Again, this is not for every guitar purchase, but something that's, like my 65 SG Junior. I did basically like a full pre-purchase inspection on that guitar, like you would for a car, like a used car. I mean, we pulled the pickguard off. We looked at the pot dates. We pulled the pickup out. I mean, we tested the truss rod. Truss rod's a big one, especially on older guitars. And if you're looking at something like old, Harmonies or Tyscos or, the funky old Sears Roebuck guitars or something from the 50s and 60s, a lot of those guitars are garbage and you have to be careful. And you need to make sure that if it has a truss rod, that it turns, make sure are the pickups original? It's not a deal breaker if they're not original. It's just something you need to know about and negotiate all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, and so I recently did a thing with Dan from that pedal show talking about player grade vintage, and one thing that I recommended, and this is really important when if someone's doing like you, if you're looking at a high end piece or a vintage piece or something that you might not have, you might not know all the provenance that goes along with it. Find a shop that you know and trust. Ask them if you can meet there and check out stuff with their techs or whatever. You might have to pay a bench fee or work that into the price or something.
Worth it.
Totally worth it, because it's going to save you some heartbreak if there's really something wrong. If it's a vintage guitar, I think the most important thing that you can possibly do, apart from a visual inspection and, like Rhett said, checking frets, checking truss rod, is run a black light over it, because you can see if it's been refinished, if it's been oversprayed, if there's been any repairs that might be invisible to the naked eye. You're going to see it when you put that black light on it. It's going to glow.
I did not do a black light on my SG, but I trust the guy that I bought it from.
Yeah, you're cool.
Yeah, Lindsay at Maple Street. I trust him. He's a straight shooter. And that's the thing too, is like, buy from trusted sources, which isn't always possible online. I mean, obviously we're talking about Reverb and these marketplaces and stuff, but support your local shops, man. It's the mom and pop guitar shop thing is a special thing that needs to stick around. So
and I think ultimately, if you don't feel comfortable shipping an instrument, if you don't feel comfortable meeting people and dealing with this stuff, find a store that you like and see if they have consignment, see what their consignment rates are. It's usually as competitive. It might be a little bit more than Reverb fees, or especially it's probably less than eBay, but the fact that they can take care of it, list it on their website or whatever, and do all that work for you is sometimes worth it. I consign a lot of stuff, especially like pedals and things, at Eastside Music Supply. That's where I bought this amp. I bought an Ampeg J20, which is basically a brown panel deluxe. Been there a while. They gave me a great deal, and it's just like you just keep that wheel turning, and everybody wins. So.
Yep. Nice. All right, on to shill of the week. Speaking of Eastside, my shill I bought at Eastside last week. Let me grab it.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Now, I left it in its box because I want to make a TikTok or YouTube short about unboxing this thing. It's so cool. Do you want to go first?
I can. Sorry. Having a mustache, I need to drink from a straw, because if you drink this, you just become a sopping wet mess.
The old flavor saver, huh?
That's right. Oh man, here you go. This one's for Rhett.
Yeah.
So this is the Frank Brothers Arcade. No, this is not mine. They very kindly sent this to me to check out and try. And I know you don't like the
shape,
unevenness of the shape.
I just can't do it.
Doesn't bother me. I think it's sexy, guys. But it's a very interesting guitar. It is way different than I expected. I expected it to. I don't know what I expected. When I got it in my hands, I thought, oh, this is totally different. The neck. So I mean, I'm sure most people who have seen these have seen. There it is. Have seen the volute on this thing, which is very much like an old Martin volute, and the neck feels like a Martin acoustic guitar to me, which your mileage may vary on that, but as far as fit and finish and construction and everything, it's immaculate. It's a very good sounding guitar. It has Lawler Imperials in it. They mentioned maybe I throw some. They want to try some Mythos humbuckers in it. Maybe we'll throw them in here. But one of the coolest things about it is it's got a little clear
I do love
backplate.
I do love that.
And all their solder work is impeccable, so I don't want to mess that up.
I did play that guitar.
You did?
I did. And I do agree with you on the Martin neck thing. It feels like a Martin neck. It's cool.
It does.
It's cool.
It's like the neck feels like an acoustic guitar with an SG body or something. It's really small down here. It feels real tight. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's
interesting. It's very well made guitar. Frank Brothers, y'all build a hell of a guitar. Please explain to me why. Hold it up again, straight on. Let's get the straight profile shot, because this was a debate with us for a while. Is it offset or not? And it is offset.
It is,
but it's not offset enough to be like. It's almost like the uncanny valley kind of thing, where it's almost human but not quite, and that's all I see. It just looks shifted just a little bit. Like
it's offsetted. It's offset in an interesting way. Like the lower side is further up, where I feel like if it was turned this way, where
more of a traditional offset.
Yeah, where it's tilted the other direction, it might feel a little more balanced, because it is weighted a little. It's interesting how it's weighted shape wise this way, but I don't know. That doesn't bother me. I like things being a little quirky and goofy. So
I mean, I do too. I love offset guitars, but it's like they couldn't decide if they wanted it to be offset or not, so they kind of went halfway, and they should have just committed to going full offset. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, well, maybe who knows? This is their only body shape. I mean, they do different permutations. Permeation. That's a word, right?
We need a vocabulary episode where we just look up and hash out all of our issues with words in the English language. Yeah.
But maybe one day they'll make one that's a little more quirky. Wit in the chat asked, "Does it neck dive?" And I'm just holding it by the strap pin, and it's very well balanced. It's not a very heavy guitar, and I mean, it is a great guitar. Like, don't hear me shitting on the shape and think that it sucks. It's a great guitar. It sounds great. It's very well built. Frank Brothers builds a hell of a guitar. Yeah, the shape is just it's a hard pass. It's gonna be a yikes for me, dog, on that one. All right, there you go. So okay, my shill this week. Something every time I go to Nashville now, I try and buy something from Eastside Music Supply. They are a really cool shop, and I wasn't looking for anything in particular, which oftentimes leads to the best purchases, I find. So I bought a pedal from Intensive Care Audio. Okay, now this is not a brand I'm familiar with. I'd never heard of them or seen them before walking into Eastside Music Supply. First of all, look at the art on the box. Pretty rad, pretty cool. So then you open it. This is called the Fiddleator. Fideleater. Fidelator. No, I don't know. I don't either. So you open the box. Nice little prescription style sticker there. It's pretty cool. I appreciate a really good branding thing and an unboxing experience. I need to up my box game. Yeah. So it says, let's see, patient name, prescription. It says side notes to be taken orally, AURALLY. Oh, nice. Do not exceed recommended dose. All right. So then you open it. Now check this. Oh shit. Hold on. Check this out. So little bag in there, right? Oh yeah. Little alcohol swab. Oh, sweet. Let's see what this. I actually haven't even read this all the way through. So it gives you a prescription in there. What the Fiddleator does is a lo-fi chorus vibrato delay pedal for the treatment of bland guitar syndrome and excessive oral dryness. AURAL. Used regularly, it can provide effective relief from these and other music and instrumentation related conditions. It goes on. It tells you what it is. These are the directions. It's wild. I was playing it in the shop. I don't really know how to describe what this is or what it does. I'll post up, like I said, a TikTok or YouTube short of me playing it. But, okay. Little prescription bag. Oh my An actual prescription bag. And then just... See, this is smart. See, they're using, found objects to complete their packaging. That's smart. That's it. That's a pretty cool piece of kit right there. Yeah. And it's wild. This is a ridiculous sounding lo-fi modulation machine. So haven't spent a ton of time with it. Yeah, it's a cool enclosure. It's like a bent metal. It looks kind of like those Moog, those little Moog pedals. Yeah, the Moog pedals. But it's So, sorry, Penny. What was that? The dog. So that's it. I don't know how to pronounce it. Someone, if you guys are watching, someone email me and tell me how to pronounce that. But cool. Yeah, cool pedal. Sneet, I like it. Sneet, man. Well, there you go, everyone. Yeah. So before we go, don't forget to go to StuMac.com/dipped in tone. Buy the most expensive thing they have.
Tell us what it
10%
is,
off.
and we'll talk about it on the next episode.
Yeah, and remember, you get a lifetime warranty on that stuff. So
I'm gonna wait to pack
you
this
can
up
beat it.
while we're not on a microphone. How about that?
That's so annoying.
Yeah, sorry.
You can beat the hell out of this stuff, and if you break it, they're gonna replace it. But don't do it. Take care of your tools, people.
Yeah.
Buy the tools to take care of your tools. Do you do that? Do you use files and then get your wire brush out and like clean all the file gunk out of it?
I don't own a file.
You don't own a file?
What? Well, hold on. What? Don't come at me like, oh, you don't own a file, as if it's like every person. What, am I not a man because I don't have a full set of fucking diamond files in my workbench or whatever?
Well, I mean, I'm not. How many hammers do you have?
Well, I've got 2 really good framing hammers.
Okay.
I got a hell of a nail gun.
Okay.
Pneumatic nail gun. About to get a trim nailer. I mean, I can hammer some shit. Okay. I got an impact gun.
Well,
I got a drill. I got a 6-foot level. I got a 4-foot level. I got a hell of a miter saw. I mean, I got the biggest damn miter saw you can get your hands on. So don't come at me like I don't, I'm not Mr.
just
Tool
saying,
Man over here.
I'm going to get you a nice set of rat tail files, a nice set of files, get you a little wire brush. And
I don't need to file things, though.
Not yet.
What am I going to need to file?
I don't know. You might have to. I don't see. We just have so much work to do.
So you're the kind of guy that's like, buy the tool and then wait for the need to arise, and then.
Sometimes, I mean, like most of my tools have come from like home projects, but also working, doing all the prop stuff.
Right.
I mean, I think files are incredibly. My dad is like he has hundreds of files. He's a very much an aficionado of hand tools, but when I was building the Proton Pack, I discovered so many great tools like a center finder and things like that are just like a V that you can draw straight lines and find the center of a circle, or things that are hard. You're like, how do I find the center of this cup? If you needed to do that.
My version of that is a speed square. I learned. Yeah. Man, framing the basement. God, having that thing on your hip, just whipping it out and doing all kinds of shit with it. And actually learning how to use it, like the angles and everything. Speed squares are rad.
See, and I'm the kind of guy that if like your door doesn't close properly, if like something's catching or it's like kind of rough, I'll take the plate off, I'll take those files and I'll smooth it out until it's like it's
Dude,
opening and
you
shutting.
And the
perfect.
mustache talking about files is
Where's my
vibe.
flannel shirt?
Yeah, it's a vibe right now. Very Tim the Toolman Taylor. All right, well there you go, everyone. Yeah, Stu Mac, thanks for sponsoring today's episode. Check it out, link in the description. Get 10% off the whatever you want. You don't have to buy the most expensive thing. Get
Buy the
whatever
thing
you
that
need.
works best for you.
Yeah, maybe you need some files. Go get you some files. All right.
All right.
We'll see y'all next episode.
Bye, everybody.